what looks to be the shocking assassination attempt on a former Russian spy and his daughter in the United Kingdom. British Prime Minister Theresa May says it's highly likely Russia was responsible. ENCA's UK correspondent Olly Barratt is working the story for us. Good evening to you, Olly. Just take us back to the discovery of these two bodies on the 4th of March that has resulted in this diplomatic dispute.
That's right. Sergei Skripal and his daughter were found unconscious on a bench in the city of Salisbury back on the 4th of March. They were rapidly hospitalized, and authorities very quickly knew that they had something extraordinary on their hands to deal with, and it very quickly, as a result, became a major incident. It was established reasonably fast that Sergei Skripal and his daughter had been affected by ingesting some kind of unknown substance. That led to a major incident being declared at the local hospital. Huge amounts of police were brought in to investigate, and it's since emerged that Skripal and his daughter were affected by a nerve agent, which the UK Prime Minister Theresa May has described as weapons grade. She also says it was produced in Russia. So that's part of the reason that the Russians are being accused by the British with regards to this incident. But taking us back to Salisbury city centre and what has unfolded there, it's also led to the deployment of the military to try and move away some of the potentially contaminated vehicles. It's led to hundreds of people in the town being told to wash their clothes and belongings and make sure that if they feel unwell, they refer themselves to health authorities quickly. And so it appears that a nerve agent has been used on British soil in what police say was a targeted attack, and that amounts to a very serious issue indeed, and is why the British are preparing their response.
And tell us about this ultimatum Prime Minister Theresa May has presented Russia with, the deadline of course being midnight tonight.
That's exactly what it is, an ultimatum. Theresa May saying that there are only two potential explanations for what has happened. She says that either Russia has directed this action to take place on British soil and is responsible for it, or she says the only other option is that this Russian-made nerve agent has somehow got out of the hands of Russian authorities. She says both represent a very serious breach indeed, and thus Russia needs to explain itself. Russia doesn't appear like it has any intention of explaining itself by that midnight deadline, and therefore on Wednesday we expect to see Theresa May lay out exactly what the British response is going to be.
Well, many European allies appear to be standing with Britain on this issue. If Russia doesn't cooperate, what could the consequences be, Olly?
That's right, not just European allies. We've had some support expressed by the United States. We've had suggestions from NATO allies as well that they would be willing to listen if Theresa May takes it to the military alliance of which Britain is a member. There are a number of things that Britain could do in response. We can expect things like the expulsion of Russian diplomats, potential sanctions, potential restrictions on finances of wealthy Russians who either live here in London or elsewhere in Britain or travel to and from London frequently. That could have a potentially significant impact on some of the oligarchs who are close to Vladimir Putin, the Russian president. There's also talk of a boycott of some sort of the upcoming World Cup in Russia. I think most England fans will be relieved to hear that that probably won't involve the actual football team themselves, but it may mean, for example, that dignitaries don't travel with England to Russia in the way that they would normally be expected to do so. There is a long list of potential ways that Theresa May could move the British government into response mode.
Olly Barratt, thank you so much for putting us in the picture with that story live to us there from London.